Thank you very much for staying with us. And we're still getting more insight into our discussion for today, the dangerous clamor for military takeover. And like I said earlier, this is a major issue that concerns every Nigerian, and it's important for us to look at what this means and the possible implication and how we can protect our democracy. I'm now joined by Kasim Afegbua, former Commissioner for Information, Edo State. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right. So like you know, some protesters went to the defense headquarters to ask for military takeover. Why do you think anyone will want military rule at this time?
Well, those are the symptoms of bad losers. When Fanika raised alarm about 2 or 3 weeks ago, talking about interim government, they thought he was talking rubbish. He was invited by the State Security Service, and now today, barely 3 weeks after, where the DSS itself had come out to say that they have information that some people are planning interim government. And you see, people don't understand that democracy is very enduring. It's a gradual process before it gets so entrenched in the psyche of the average citizenry. Now we fought many years to get this democracy. Bola Ahmed Tinubu was one of those frontliners, those who, fought by sheer coincidence. He's been elected as a democratically elected president-elect. And some people are still being carried away by the folly of military rule, military interregnum. These are just symptoms of bad losers. You see, everybody will want to come to the table to contest election, but they must always know at all times that it is just one winner at every point in time. So be president, be governor, senate, house of reps, it's just one person. So they must continue to imbibe that spirit of sportsmanship. Those who are going to protest in military defense headquarters and embassies and all that, are being sponsored by their leaders. And these leaders are known. So it is the responsibility of the DSS to rein in these leaders and subject them to serious interrogation and questioning. Nobody should be above the law. We have gone past military rule 24 years ago, and now we have gotten democracy, even though it's still fledgling. We're happy with it. We'll try and error. There will be mistakes. There will be corrections and all of that. But democracy, for God's sake, free speech is what we want as a country. And that is the global norm. We can't behave like West African sub-regions, all these smaller vassal states and countries that are torpedoing their democratically elected government. Nigeria helped to restore democracy in Chad. They helped to restore democracy in Liberia, in Syria alone, and some of these other countries. Then today you are now clamoring that there should be a military takeover. These are just symptoms of bad losers. It's quite unfortunate that it's happening now.
All right, so according to DSS, the planners have held several meetings, and it has also said these are unnamed key players. So are you on the side of those asking that the names of these key players be made public?
I think it's good for us to know, in clear terms, who are the enemies of democracy. It is not a thing you should hide. No. We need to expose them. People died in the process of fighting for it. People were arrested. People were detained. People went and they served so many years in prison and all of that. 24 years on, you're asking for military rule again. I'm happy that the military are not caving into this kind of push. But because the DSS is reporting, it makes it worrisome. And that means the DSS must up its game, and they must show courage and boldness and rein in those people. If they know them, they should announce their names. We want to know them, those who are enemies of democracy, so that we'll apportion their position in history for them, as expected. Because I can't imagine us waking up tomorrow and we're hearing martial music of military interregnum again in this country. We've come a long way. We want to be able to grow our democracy. We want to be able to sustain the ethics of democracy. We want to be able to make mistakes and correct those mistakes along the line. In the other countries we are copying, they have stayed over the years, 200 years, 250 years, and all of that, practicing democracy. Even when you look at what happened during the Trump Trump era in America. It wasn't the best of times for them, but they bounced back, and today they're happy for it. So people must not think that it must be them. They must win at all costs. And the kind of language all these Labour Party people and PDP frustrated contestants are turning out, it goes to show that there's something up their sleeves. They'll be running from pillar to post trying to see how they can truncate inauguration. But I can tell you, we will come, 2029 will come, Bola Ahmed Tinubu will sworn in without any problem or crisis. Now that we have known those who have tried to be enemies of democracy, the DSS will be on their track and will rein them in at the appropriate time.
All right, so some protesters have faulted the call for interim government, and they're insisting on the inauguration of Tinubu on May 29. So how do we ensure that this friction does not get out of hand? And what would you advise that the government does to calm the tension?
Let me tell you, anti-protest, when they meet with pro-protest, those who are pro-Tinubu and anti-Tinubu, when they meet, there will be crisis and there will be violence. That is what we are trying to avoid. A man who scored 8.7 million votes in the election, you can't say that it's a pushover. You cannot say you have more supporters than him. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a pan-Nigerian candidate. If you look at the spread of his votes, you will know that he got votes from virtually every part of the country. Even the Southeast that didn't vote for him because of the massive rigging in that part of the country, he still got about 60, 70,000, 80,000 votes. That's something. But the point is, anybody calling for interim government is only cultivating crisis, is only trying to cause crisis in the country so that something will distract from the inauguration. But we have gone beyond that. May 29, 2023, Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be graciously inaugurated. Thank God that we have a president who also was a military man. This doctrine, he understands the doctrine of democracy. He also understands that when people contest election, that there will only be one winner. And we have said they should go and pursue their case in the law court. I don't know why all this running around the streets of Abuja like jobless people and thinking that they own the country. No. You see, we are just taking it cool from the Tinubu camp because we want peace and stability. That is the only way you can actually deliver on your electoral promises. But if push comes to shove, please tell those people who are protesting that they don't have monopoly of violence.
All right, you've been examining the dangerous clamor for military takeover with the former Commissioner for Information in Edo State, Mr. Kasim Afegbua. I must say a very big thank you to you for coming on Politics Tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please say no to interim government. It's unconstitutional. It's evil. It's devilish. And those who are doing it, they are the bad losers. Those who don't want to accept that they were defeated in this last election. APC